Morning, welcome to the 6.8 liter garage. Good news, today we are not working on the ArcDroid. All done with the conversion to the Plus controller, and today we're actually doing a project with the ArcDroid, so we'll use the Plus controller, but we won't be working on it per se. So the project today is another dog, not a not a tribute to a dog, but because the dog's still around. But I don't know the dog. Dog's name's Ginger, and my wife gave me the picture and the name and said, "Hey, we need to do this," so that's what we're doing. Hopefully, laptop guy can capture the personality of the dog, since we don't really know the dog. Anyway, so that's the project. I'm gonna get this thing all set up. Well, as always, boring to watch me set up this stuff, watching the compressor fill with air. While I'm getting this all ready to cut out, why don't you go see what laptop guy came up with, and when you get done watching him, we'll cut this thing out and see what it looks like. My wife's on the hook for painting this one again, so you won't be able to see that because she wouldn't allow us to paint to film her painting. But I'll show you the final product when we're done. So first step, let's see what laptop guy comes up with in his drawing. So go check him out, and when you get back here, we'll be all ready to go to cut this out. See you soon.
Okay, today we're doing a drawing based on a dog named Ginger. This dog. That's the picture I received that we're going to use for our drawing. So, yeah, bear with me. We'll do that. Let's just get started. I'm probably not going to do the whole drawing. Here, I'll give you a preview. I'll show you what this is, the full drawing that is going to get cut out. But it took, I don't know, an hour and a half or so with me making changes and whatever. But I'll show you the basics on how I got started and what I did. First step is set document properties to match what you want. US letter, inches. And then first step for this project is to import Ginger's photo. And there we go. So I'm just going to jump right in and start drawing the outline that we're going to use using the Bezier tool, the pen tool here. And we'll start along here on her neck. This is basically the outline that we're going to use. You don't have to be terribly accurate. I mean, I'm going quick here because this is a demo, not a final project. Like I said, it probably took me an hour and a half or so to draw the Ginger drawing that I just showed you. I try to put a point anywhere on both sides of a curve, and the line can be stretched to match the outline. We'll do to here. And try to make that straight across. So there's the outline. And I'm going to make this more visible. Shift and click a color, and then we have a color that you can see. Alright, so that's the outline. And just to show you what I mean by stretching the curves, I'll switch to the click this spot here for the node tool, because this is a path which has nodes. And we just drag these lines to match the outline better. Whoops. I think I intended these to dip in a little. Maybe not so much. And anyway, go around and make the line curve where you need it to fit the drawing. And then we have to go in and add some details. So you get the picture of how this part's done, the outline is done. Alright, so now we need to add the details into the drawing. So we'll go back to the Bezier tool, and like this spot, I think we can add to the drawing. And we'll go to the node tool, Make it more natural, drag that. I'm trying to grab this line between these two nodes. Maybe I need to zoom in a little bit. I want to grab the line, not the nodes. Zooming in helps a lot. You can see the parts you missed. And while we're in here, I'm going to go back to my Bezier tool. And I like to just highlight the eye. I don't want to cut it out. Something about just a black hole looks funny to me. Not funny, a little bit creepy. And this is going to be a wall hanging, so you don't want to necessarily have it, the color of the wall sticking through there or glaring through the eyes. Look kind of funny. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Bezier tool. Right click to release that tool. Go to the node tool. Drag the eye. And then we got this mouth and nose spot. Go to the Bezier tool again and I'll put this line in. Node tool, put a little curve to it. And then Bezier tool. Gotta put the mouth in. And we can go to the node tool and make that look a little bit more natural. And the nostrils, I'll just put a circle like that. And I'm going to go to the selection tool. You click it twice, you can rotate. And Control D to delete, duplicate, and I'll drag one over here. And let's zoom out a little bit and see. So you can see that's some of the detail I would cut. I'd probably do another hole over here near the ear. I think on the original I did a line along here to define the mouth. Those things can all be done, but you just have to find that level of detail that you want to do in your drawing and make it yours. I did actually put a line here along the ear, not connecting to either one of these. Didn't connect to the hole, and it didn't connect to this ear. Just to define it, I would probably put a line here for the neck. So trace the muzzle, the neckline here, and get some definition on this ear. And so there's the muzzle, the neck, the ear, the other hole. I think I did some eyebrows on her. But the other thing I did is put this name piece in here. So you're probably curious how I did that. And I'm going to show you that right now. Let's go to the font tool. And let's type Ginger's name. And you have to bridge things. If you don't break this, you'll lose the center of the G and the center of the E. So I'll do that. But first thing I want to do is, how do you hook Ginger onto the neck, the drawing here? Well, I'll show you what I like to do, or what I did this time. First of all, I'm going to turn that object to path. So that text became a path. And then I'm going to go path, linked offset. So that gives you this little line, or this little node thing right here. And we're going to drag it until we like it, something like that. Okay, so that's how I create the Ginger thing. But so what we have now is we have the text and we have the surrounding object, and you can separate them. So you can see these these defects, or these little distortions that pop up from that tool. So let's zoom in a little bit. Control arrow to move around, and you see all those little well, let me also turn this into a path object to path. the path tool, and we can just highlight these. Well, it's just noise, really, and delete them. If I zoom in even more, use arrows, we can go find more of them. These guys need to be deleted. Sometimes there's a bunch of extra nodes right on the line as well, so I'm going to control arrow my way around here, delete these things, control arrow some more. Alright, oh, there's one. Alright, so I'm going to zoom back out. So now we have this. Whoops, didn't mean to grab that. Control Z, put it back. Alright, so let me zoom out even more. Okay, so what we need to do is hook this object onto the Ginger object. Something like that. Ginger, the dog object. So I'm going to highlight that. And then I'm going to control click the outline of Ginger. And then I'm going to say path, combine, no, union. Nope. Wrong one. It is combine. Shift. Path. Combine. Nope, that's not what I want. Is this a path? 47 node path. 47 node path. Shift. Shift, click that. And path. Should be combine. What the hell is going on? Alright, so that's separate. So that shift, click. Two objects selected of type path, one layer. If I say path, combine, it doesn't do it. That's what I wanted, path union. Okay, bear with me. Everybody, I don't know everything, but sorry about that. Difference between union and combine. And here's the word Ginger. We'll put her on here somewhere. Shift click the rest of it, and I'm going to say path difference. So that subtracted the Ginger from the rest of the drawing, so it'll be cut out. If we could hit the node tool, you can see it's all one thing combined into a single drawing. Control. The only thing we have to do is, like I said, we have to bridge these. So I'm going to delete that node, delete that node, and I'm going to highlight this node, highlight this node, and I'm going to click right here and say delete the segment between them, highlight this node, highlight that node, delete the segment between them, and then I'm going to highlight that node, and say add a segment between those two. Same thing here. Add a segment. So now we're bridged. So this piece won't drop out because it's connected to the regular body. And we can play with this a little bit more. Maybe make that a smoother edge. That looks okay. And on this one, there are no extra nodes, so just double click to add nodes, and then we'll highlight these two, delete the segment between them, highlight these two, delete the segment between them, and you get the point here. And now we're bridged. You could smooth all this out a little bit. I mean, maybe you don't even need that node. Delete that. And these can be smoothed as well. Anyway, so the only other thing to do on this drawing, besides add more detail, is hook it all together. So, because these are individual paths inside this path, but we want it to be all one path. So let's highlight everything and say path, combine, or is it union? I don't know. combine, and there we go, all one path. Then let's highlight the picture, delete it. Let's change the color, so shift click this color. Need to highlight ginger first, shift click black, so you can see the picture. And then we'll go back to document properties, size it to the drawing. There we go. Now, it doesn't have all the detail, but that is how I created this drawing here with all the detail. And you can create one yourself. So let's go back out in the garage and cut this thing out.
Okay, you still awake after laptop guy's demonstration of his drawing? I hope so. Okay, I've got everything loaded up here. We got a full tank of air. Air is set at 55 pounds on the Cut 60. Cut 60 set for 30 amps. This is 16 gauge, which may be overkill for a dog figurine, but that's what I have. And we have Ginger loaded up here, the same drawing that hopefully Laptop Guy showed you. And every time I use this Plus controller, I'm reminded how much more responsive it is than the original controller. The touchscreen on the original controller, I always had trouble. I had to double tap, and this thing's way more responsive, way more powerful, way easier to see. But all we got to do this time is turn on the torch and push the go button. So let's see what happens. Alright, that looks like Ginger to me. Let's see if I can get it out of here easily enough with the magnet. It's actually still cool, so there you go. Ginger. Well, we get her we put her on the table and clean it up. Not that there's a lot to clean up, but we'll get it cleaned up and pass it off to Miss the 6.8 liter, and she can do some painting on it. Yeah, that's the next step. Okay, as I think I mentioned earlier, we aren't we're painting this one, so we don't have to get all the mill scale off. We just have to get the slag, the dross off of it, and then we'll hand it off to Mrs. 6.8 liter to paint it. I think actually she wants me to paint a base coat of white, and then she'll paint the rest. And you married guys know that means you do what they tell you. Get to use the magnetic vise again today. That's cool. Turn it on. Not going anywhere. Turn the magnet back off. And back on again. Magic. I love that thing. That's that. Every once in a while you can feel the magnet like grab a hold of the grinder, the metal on the grinder. But still, it's way better than using a vise or not using anything, cutting up your hands and your gloves and such. And turn it back off and good to go. Ready for paint. So there you go. Ginger. Laptop guy's getting pretty good at figuring out which lines to draw just to give a little bit of personality and shape without overdoing it. So I think that turned out pretty good. Okay, it's a couple days later. We got the ginger figurine all done. I put a base coat of just Rust-Oleum white paint on it and turned it over to my wife, and she put some color on it to make it look more like ginger. I hope. Like I said, I don't know ginger. I've just seen a couple pictures of her. And then after that, I put a clear coat of lacquer on it because I'm not sure how well the paint would stay. I mean, it's not like you're going to stick it in the dishwasher, right? It's a wall hanger. But anyway, I put some lacquer on it to hopefully make the paint stay on it. And that's what we came up with. So hopefully you got something out of that between laptop guy, myself, and my wife's paint. I mean, we're not artists, but I think it comes out pretty good. Anyway, appreciate you watching. As we say, like, share, and subscribe. It all helps out. The more clicks and comments and shares and stuff you do, the more out the algorithm, more respect it gives the video, and the more people it shows it. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and see you next time.